Welcome back to another reaction, this time for the anime. Roll over and die. I will fight for an ordinary life with my love and cursed sword, episode 1. Shortest isekai title this year, I guess. I don't know if it's an isekai, but the title makes it seem like one. So no idea what this is really about. I mean, I have an idea. The title is telling me a lot. So let's see if it is good.
お喜び申し上げます。英雄プラムアプリコット様。
Plum apricot?
あなた様は創造神。
Origin Divine Creator.
オリジン様に選ばれました。
She. Oh. Okay, bets. It's a her, okay. We see 3 females, I assume 3 guys. She's going to be betrayed. She's going to be left for dead. That is where the roll over and die stuff comes from, probably. She gets reincarnated or something like that, has a cursed sword and just wants to be left alone, maybe? I mean, at least let her try, I guess. So I assumed everyone was a hero. Maybe she's the only one that was granted the title of hero, and they all were like, "Yo, this is not going to work out?" Question mark. We don't really have much information at this point, so let's see. Opening, we see some bells. Oh, the beginning after the end, I guess. Okay, opening was something else, I have to admit. Mostly the visuals. I mean, the music as well, not as... you don't hear that kind of music that often. Now, the visuals, we saw zombies attacking. And we saw our hero with another girl, I assume, that she wants to rescue. We also saw at the end that she gets attacked by a bunch of guys. I don't know what that is about. So the opening didn't really give much away, which is I personally like. I like the idea that the opening is... it should not really be about building hype, in my opinion. Or it shouldn't spoil stuff. It can still build up a little bit hype. I would much more prefer if the opening has a little bit more world building. Stuff that is... maybe stuff that is very important for the show, you can always show in the opening. I don't know how exactly. I just do not like spoiling too much. Sure, we saw the partner of our hero, presumably. But it didn't really give much away how this happened, what really is going on. Zombies, are the zombies real? Is this just a metaphor for something? I feel like there is that, there's not a lot that they spoiled, which is good. I like that a lot. So let's see. It's so dark. I can't see shit. Okay, we have prisoners. So this is the girl in the opening. Why would the hero be here?
どうなるんだろう。あなたはいつからここにいるの？
多分3日前くらいです。
綺麗な目。でもここにいるってことはこの子も奴隷なんだよね。
Okay. So we're getting thrown into the deep end. She became a slave. From hero to slave. There's most likely a lot of stuff happened between these two situations. Okay. Now, it's not a bad way to start. You don't need to explain everything from the get-go. You can slowly uncover some of these aspects. And it stops the information dump. If you were to explain, oh, this happened, and after we did this, that happened. Now we slowly but surely get to know all the things, and we can now at least enjoy a little bit of introduction. With the hero to the heroine, I guess.
皆さんだいぶお待たせして申し訳ない。
Whoever that is.
さて、分かってるとは思うが、お前たちには商品としての価値はない。
You have no value to me as merchandise. Why?
だから処分させてもらう。しかしな、お前たちを買うのにも今まで生かしておいたのにも金がかかっている。死に際ぐらい楽しませてもらわなけりゃ割に合わないと思う。
Why can't you sell them? I mean, not even talking about our hero, who you can sell. But I'm assuming that you got paid to dispose of her. Understandable for the girl that we looked at. She has bandages around her face. Okay. I can see that there may not be that much interest. However, I feel like there's still going to be people interested in buying them. Now, the one that seems to be sick on the ground, maybe not that good. I feel like a lot of them you can still sell. Now, very cheaply, but still, I feel like you can get some money back. Not turning a profit, but you can make some amount of money back. And if you do this bullshit, be an entrepreneur, you know, start a little ring, get people in, let all of them enjoy the show, make money back, if the money is really that important to you.
思わないか？そいつはグール、最低ランクのモンスターだ。
So the zombies were real. Or ghouls in this case, okay.
かわいそうに価値がないばっかりに。
She didn't even cry out.
だがここで大チャンス。そいつらを倒したらまた商品として売ってやるよ。大変だな。どうにかしないとその女と同じ目に遭うぞ。 だが素手ではグールを倒せない。武器が必要だ。そうだよな。おっと、そこに剣が飾ってあるぞ。
So, before the last thing, you know, before this, I was like, this is not entertaining at all. This is fucking boring. They're just going to die. Wow. Now, this part is, it seems like there's all the preamble of, hey, why don't you take the sword? See what happens. See what is going to happen to you. That is most likely what he wants. He wants them to take the sword. I feel like you could have done a lot of different things that would be more entertaining. Even if, you know, you have all these different people, now the sick one, potentially not. But you could be like, okay, put them all in a ring. Survivor gets to live. And I'm doing one better. Survivor gets to go free. No slave anymore. Free to go wherever you want. Make something along those lines. If you make it really entertaining, I'm even giving you a little bit of money. You know, then you can have a show. But, you know, just people dying again. I feel like the creativity is always a little bit lacking. Now, this one, we will see what the sword does, if it is going to get entertaining. In his eyes, or at least.
ここに剣が飾ってあるぞ。まあお前たちには扱えないだろうけどな。ステータスが低いからね。
これで俺は人生をやりだ。
You do know that he told you if you win, you kill them, he's going to put you on the market, not necessarily better life.
いや残念だったな。その剣呪われてるんだわ。握っただけで体が溶けて死ぬ強烈なやつ。最上級のエピック装備だと騙されて勝っちまった。そこのお前と同じだ。フラムアプリコット、何が英雄だ。ステータスオールゼロのこのゴミが。
I'm assuming it's oh, the status screen can't show her super OP stats. Maybe.
ゴミが。
Again. Instead of going here or starting here by a bunch of exposure and stuff and telling us an episode of introduction, we started pretty strong. We are down here. He's trying to make our death somewhat fun. I don't know how it is more fun to have someone die to or disintegrate to a cursed sword, but sure, I guess. And now, after like a couple minutes, we go back to the story. How did this happen?
ゼロ
Affinity reversal.
そうだろ。ゴミが。
お喜び申し上げます。英雄プラムアプリコット様、あなた様は創造神オリジン様に選ばれました。
Even if the stats are 0, she did become a hero. I guess a class, whatever. So there has to be a reason.
本当は旅になんて出たくなかった。少し歩くだけで息切れを起こすし、重いものも持てない。反転という使い道もわからない。この属性のせいでステータスは全てゼロ。 う力がない。
Interesting. So all her stats are locked at 0. She has the ability or affinity of reversal, which most likely means that all the zeros could turn into the max stats if she was able to unlock that, which I assume some of the teammates would acknowledge. Now she can't do that, so she is not really useful. In many other stories, a character like this, they get thrown out of the party because they are perceived as useless, but they are not. They are secretly really useful, but they don't show off. Now, this is one of the few instances where the character is really not useful at all. It is very rare for something like this to happen, where the character can't even carry your luggage. That is how useless she is. So it may be controversial, but I can understand why you would get rid of her. At least throw her out of the party. Enslaving her, I don't believe is a good choice, but
なんで、どうして私なんかが選ばれたんだろう。似たような田舎出身で、同い年のキリル・スウィーチカと私
strawberry
は
shortcake.
すぐに意気投合した。でもキリルちゃんは強くて私は弱い。だから私にできることは雑用くらい。そう思って頑張ってきた。
フラムにはいつも美味しいご飯を作ってもらっている。
このくらいお安い御用だ。
それなのに
お前ごときが魔王に勝てると思うな。
キリルちゃん。
本当にいいんですかいだな。こんな上玉をもらっちまって。
ああ、構わないよ。ただのゴミだ。高貴な血筋でもなければふさわしい力もない。そのくせ余計なことばかりして足を引っ張る。正直、同じ空気を吸っているだけでもヘドが出そうだった。よく今まで我慢したものだと自分で自分を褒めたいぐらいだよ。
シンさん。
いいかフラム、今から僕が君に
The whole beginning, okay. The whole, hey, she's useless. We need to get rid of her. Fine. This part is fucking stupid. Straight up, it's stupid. It's one of those. Nowadays, people are unable to write good evil characters. It feels it just feels impossible because he's going out of his way to enslave her. Why? It would be something I would be totally on board if he's like, hey, you are useless. We saw the other girl and she saw him throwing her away. So she agrees with that and is like, okay, you are useless. We are throwing you out of the party. Fair enough. Now enslaving her, I don't believe the other girl would do that unless she's evil, which is just like comically evil. The whole party has to then be in on it and be evil, and it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why?
ふさわしい立場というものを教えてあげよう。
それは
奴隷の印を刻むための焼き印だ。ヒート。貴様、厄介者だって自覚はないのか？皆お前にはうんざりしてたんだよ。
嘘だ。エターナさんもガディオさんも私に親切だったし、キリルちゃん。
いや、皆承諾済みだ。 特にキリルは一番に賛成してくれたぞ。お前の顔を二度と見なくて済むとせいせいするってな。この役立たずのゴミが、お前にはこれがお似合いだ。
やだ、
これがお前の報いだ。
旅になんて出なければよ。
Again, it's so stupid because the whole group is willing to just be evil for no reason. You can have an evil character. There are many ways to make them evil. There are many ways to make them evil and not redeemable as well. In this case, these are the people that are supposed to defeat the Demon King. So they have someone who is in the way all the time. They would just kick the person out. Just be like, hey, you are not helping. You're useless. Get lost. It's far easier than doing all of this for no apparent reason. It just is stupid. It just feels so stupid. Especially, this is the part I never really understood. Agreeing to make her a slave? You know what slaves go through, and you are accepting putting someone in that position for no real reason? You're not even getting paid. You don't get anything from this. It's just evil to be evil, which is always one of those stupid... I never really understood that idea of just having evil people do evil stuff to be evil instead of doing it for some reason. There are many ways, as Thanos, as example, never really watched the whole storyline, but the big snap, we all know about it. You can say it is somewhat evil, but he's doing it for a good reason, because he believes he's doing something good. That is how you have a somewhat good redeemable character or evil character. But that is most of the time why evil people do something, because they believe they are doing something good. In this case, he's just doing something evil to be evil. He's not believing he's doing something good. He's just doing evil stuff because I guess he's evil. And he's a good guy because he's supposed to defeat the evil Demon King. Do you know what I mean? It's not that he was never a good guy, or we are not supposed to believe he's a good guy. He is a good guy, supposedly. But he's doing evil stuff because he wants to be evil, I guess. And the whole group. It would be different if the whole group didn't know. But seemingly the whole group knows. At least the one girl knows.
そうすればこんな目に遭うこともなかった。
助けてください。助けてください。お願いします。お願いします。ちゃんと売れるように命がけで努力しますから。
いいね。
やだよ。
This also makes no sense. It was all about, hey, make it entertaining. What in this situation is entertaining? They are not struggling to survive. They are not fighting to survive. They're just cowering. And you can have this without all the extra bells and whistles. So this is not even entertaining. He's not entertained. He's not like, oh, this is so entertaining. Even him killing that slave, he was not happy. He's not entertained. So what is this? What is this for?
こんなところで死にたくない。私、何も悪いことなんてしてない。
いや、悪いのはお前だ。
And how were you not able to pay to sell her?
勇者パーティーに参加している英雄と聞いて大金を払ったのに、俺を騙して大金かすめ取ったのはお前だろ。
I mean, she didn't get the money. And again, this would be somewhat fine. However, the glasses guy went out of his way to brand her as a slave for no reason. Again, he's not doing it for the money. He's still not doing it for any good overarching reason. He's just doing it because he wants to be evil.
この使い物にならないゴミが。
And I also don't know what he is about. He knows she has nothing to do with it. If he wants to go to someone and cry that he got cheated out of his money, then he goes to the people that cheated him out of his money. Simple as that.
ゴミ。
使い物にならないゴミ、おとなしく死んで罪を償っとけよ。なら武器でも握って戦うしかねえんじゃねえの。
諦め食われ
Again. At this point, I don't see much entertainment going on here. The only person that gave a little bit entertainment was a guy. He tried to fight. It would probably be more entertaining to just give them some little weapon so they can at least try. Just so you have something going on.
死ぬか。やだ。抗い溶けて死ぬか。どっちもやだよ。でもどうせ死ぬなら。
You do know there are other potential weapons. I mean, they are eating people, not even talking about that they are supposed to eat like 5 or 6 people. Maybe they are not fed. But I'm assuming they are already on to the next person. So there could be bones lying around. Bones are pretty strong. Can use as weapon. Not that you can because your stats, but someone could.
ほらほら、早くしないと食われるぞ。
抗って死のうと彼女は決めた。
頑張れ、もうちょっとだぞ。
これでやっと。
Even if she were to melt, wouldn't all the ghouls also melt? Because they are connected to her now. The sword doesn't differentiate.
もう痛みも感じない。これって死ぬってことなのかな。
強者に呪いを、弱者に祝福を。奴隷殺しに飽きた黒き剣がそうささやいた気がした。
どうなってんだよ一体。なんで解けないの？それにどうして傷が治ってんだよ。
元通りになってる。
くっそー、さっさとあんなゴミ食っちまえ。お前すごいな。俺と一緒に稼がないか。なんでこのゴミが。
At least she didn't give him a chance. Very nice. Yeah, regarding setups, I mean, I do have always some qualms about how it is handled, but I like the direction. We start off already more or less at the beginning of the story. We don't need to go back in time what happened. We get a little bit of action, then we get a little bit of backstory, we go back to the action. You know, I find pretty well done. Now, at this point, we will have to see how it continues. She was a hero, so it makes sense that at some point she's overpowered. Now, why the sword is not meeting her, maybe the sword was done with eating slaves, okay? If that comes back later, maybe. But at the moment, we just take it, okay? She freed herself. Good. Killed the slaver. Very nice. We are now going to free little girl. And then what?
彼女は世界が自分の死を望んでいると思っていた。しかし、
そっか。私生きてていいんだ。
エピック装備は念じるだけで収納できるの。
Who's saying that?
本当に消えた。一緒に逃げようよ。
Was that something someone else said? Maybe? Maybe something she remembered?
それは私のご主人様になってくれるということですか？
ご主人様？
私を連れて行くんですよね。使おうとしてるんですよね。
使う？そうじゃなくて逃げよう。
ご主人様じゃない人について行っても、私はどうしたらいいかわかりません。
この子は根っからの奴隷なんだ。
You are going to be her master, done. In this situation, whatever brings you out of the dangerous parts, you just tell them. Easy as that. You're going to be her master until you get into some kind of situation where you can slowly but surely try to solve this issue. Instead of talking for like an hour here.
わかった。じゃあ今日から私があなたのご主人様になる。
Exactly. Again, later on when there's time, you can still be like, okay, can we have a normal relationship, or do you want to be free? Lots of different ways. But just get out for the time being. I assume this was the slaver. Don't forget to take some money. I would most likely even pilfer the slaver's body for trinkets and stuff. He looked like a fat ass that probably has a bunch of gold on him. So you are able to have some finances you can use.
そう言ったらついてきてくれる？
はい、ご主人様。
私はフラムアプリコット。
ミルキットと申します。
Why are you intertwining your fingers?
ミルキット、行こう。
Yeah, this title is fucking awful. I have no idea why this is like... I mean, I understand why they do like the long title, so they more or less have the synopsis in the title. But it's like, this looks awful. You can't make this look good. You just can't.
神魔戦争が終結して30年。未だ人間の領土に攻め込んでくる魔族を防ぐため、今日まで多くの教会騎士が戦ってきました。そして今その任に就くのはオリジン様に選ばれし勇者たちです。 我らに平和をもたらす勇者に武運を祈りましょう。
So they are all supposed to be heroes. Yep, definitely heroes.
創造神オリジンは世界を作り命を生み落とした。それこそが二重らせんの生命たる人類である。神が人類に与えたまう使命は英知の蓄積と時代への継承。人と人とのつながりにより英知は巡る。接続せよ、共振せよ。巡る英知は螺旋のように積み上がり、世界を神の身元へと導くだろう。すがう生命の螺旋、星を悟空する渦巻くはしご。人類とはその生ける山。
To be honest, it's just words that he's using. He's just spewing some words. They don't mean anything. Halfway, I stopped listening.
これこそが使命であり、人類に与えられた存在意義である。
What did you... Did someone try to trip her?
大丈夫？
Someone did.
ちょっとあんた何して。
Oh, because she has a slave crest? What the fuck is going on? Even if you look at the slave crest, you would not touch them because they are slaves of someone else, right?
どうかしたんですか、ご主人様。
なんでもない。でもこれが奴隷なのかなって。
They wanted to mess with the slave because it's a slave. First off, they tripped her, not the one that has an obvious slave crest. And they wanted to trip her. They wanted to fuck around with her. Now, I don't know how it really was. I only know bits. But essentially, if you have a slave, it's your property. Now, if someone damages your property, you get reimbursement. This already was in old Rome, where slavery was more normalized. And it was your property. If someone damages a slave for some fucking reason, you have to pay. So just be like, oh, we are going to have fun and fuck around with some slaves. Oh, we broke their leg. Yeah, you have to pay. The slave is not cheap. You don't know the price of the slave. So you have to pay a lot of money. And you are fucking over everything. So that is why you would be careful not to injure slaves normally. Now, if it's your slave, you can do what you want. It's your property at that point. But you damaging someone else's slave is not a good idea in any way, shape, or form. So this made like no sense in that context. It always feels a little bit, again, my knowledge is also very spotty, but logically, let's say you have something, I know slaves are humans, I don't care. If you have a car and someone comes and is keying your car because they want to fuck around with your car because it's a Japanese car, I don't care why. You want the car to be paid for. So you don't do this normally. And slaves are essentially like a car. You don't damage someone else's property because you don't want to be held liable to pay for it. So that is why you just are careful about how you treat slaves. But in this world, I guess people don't fucking care. Soul Eater, okay.
使い方は知ってたけど
Hmm.
初めて使えた魂食いのツバイハンダーあれ
Equipment lowers your total stats by 995. This equipment causes your body to melt. Do we have a fucking stack overflow? Is it called stack overflow? No. Byte overflow. Byte overflow? Memory overflow. Whatever, where we go so far into the minus that we go into the plus again.
ステータス減少のエンチャントがついてる
減少ですか。
でも身は軽いし溶けるどころか傷だって治ってる
So you are able to see the stats of the weapon but not your own. Okay.
どういうこと
If you can scan her.
だろ
見事に反転してますね。
うだよね判定
Oh.
私の属性は
So you reverse the item effect on you. So you don't melt, you solidify? Because there is a second effect that also needs to be reversed.
私の属性は
Maybe that is the whole healing effect, potentially. That you can't be damaged anymore.
反転減るはずが増える溶けるはずが治るひっくり返る
Oh yeah, mating turns into healing. Okay. Yeah, okay.
気づかないわけだ呪いの装備を使うなんて
I mean, you had a glasses guy that is probably supposed to be smart. He was unable to use his brain once. He just wanted to be evil.
思わないからごめんね一人で盛り上がっちゃって要するにこの属性のおかげで
First off, you don't share. Second off, scan. I mean, I would use scan, but in story-wise, it probably is better to have a little conversation and then you scan.
使えば使うほど私は強くなれるってことこれは大事件だよ完全に役立たずの能力だと思ってたけどこんな使い道があったなんて
そうですか。よくわかりませんが。
Reversal probably not only counts towards items, does it? Probably does it for everything. So if you get buffed, you get debuffed, but if you get debuffed, you get buffed, right? I hope this comes into play. So far, even though I'm always very negative, so far I don't dislike this. I don't dislike it. I mean, I have my qualms about little bits here and there, but overall, I find so far it is a pretty solid start. And I hope that this reversal is going to come into play. She's going to buy like a helmet, it gives 10 defense, whatever. She looks at her stats and is like minus 10 defense, and is like, okay, I can't do that. So I need to get cursed equipment, which could be a good idea, okay. And then you have someone casting a buff on her and it's debuffing her. So then she's like, okay, I need debuffs. She gets poisoned, but it doesn't poison her, it heals her. Stuff like that. You know, I do wonder, can she drink healing potions? Are they going to hurt her? I hope that this is not a gimmick only for the sword, but a gimmick that goes through the whole story.
ご主人様はすごいんですね。
反応薄まあ感情表現が得意なタイプじゃないみたいだから
Scan.
仕方ないかさのんびりしてると日が暮れちゃう行こう
はい。
Scan? Why are you not scanning her? You scanned your weapon, you would scan her as well. Just to see what is up. Right? Maybe you can't. Maybe it's a, hey, you are not allowed to if they don't agree. If we want to survive, the first thing we will need is money. Steal from the slaver. I mean, it's not stealing, it's repossessing because you did a lot of work, you were a slave. So, you know, it's compensation. It's not stealing, it's compensation. I mean, he's dead, so it's no one's money at this point, so it's not really stealing. Right? It would make more sense to take some valuable stuff, be it like a little gold statue, just to turn into money.
生きていくためにはまずはお金を稼がないとね。
どこへ行くんですか？
冒険者ギルド。
フラムは故郷に帰ったよ。僕が説得したんだ。これ以上旅に同行するのは無理だってね。彼女自身もそれを痛感していた。だから自らの意志で故郷に帰ったんだ。もともと役に立
You do not. You do not. The rest? I mean, I assume they would not know. But she did see what was happening.
ってなかった。
As far as we know.
キリルも同意してくれた。そうだよね、キリル。フラムのためなんだ。分かってくれるだろう。
うん。ひどいことを言ってしまった。たくさん傷つけてしまった。
キリルちゃん、このケーキ美味しいね。
フラムがいなければとっくに勇者のプレッシャーに潰されてたのに。本知らずだ。私はもう友達と呼ぶことも許されない。
You did turn her into a slave. I'm not going to accept that you did not know what was happening. So that is why, you know, you can fuck off. Now, this may be just how it was shown in the anime, and the source material has done this a little bit different. Then, straight up, the direction is fucking awful. You could have done this whole conversation you could have had. You know, just don't show her at the scene, and it's done. You know, we don't have to second guess her, nothing. But she got turned into a slave right after, which I assume she would not have been okay with. She just wanted to throw her out, not turn her into a slave.
邪魔者はもういない。君にふさわしい男は僕だ。勇者になるために生まれてきたと言われる君と賢者の僕。優秀な人間同士が惹かれ合うべきなんだ。
王と
I mean, again, he's evil for the sake of evil. Even saying, oh yeah, you know, he wants to be together with her. That is why he got rid of the other girl, which doesn't make sense in the first place. But even if you were like, okay, he just wanted to get rid of her, he didn't need to enslave her. He just did that because he could. He just did it because he could. So he's still totally evil, and it is very strange that the other people are not going to find out. I feel like, at least, I mean, Cyril is like, oh, I can't call her a friend anymore. The other ones are, I would assume, would be like, hey, at least send her a letter. It seems like they are going to be before the king, so they have to explain. And they could be like, yo, we had this hero, we sent her back. And maybe the king is then going to check up on the hero. Or potentially, because they are a hero, so the king may want the hero to be still available. Just for the name. Just for the name. It doesn't really matter that she's weak. It doesn't matter that she can't do anything. She's a hero that God nominated by the goddess, and you may want her to be at your side to just throw out her name for some bullshit. Oh, we built a new orphanage in the name of the hero X. We did XYZ because of the hero something. We destroyed a slavery ring because of the hero. You can do a lot of stuff with the name of a hero, especially the hero at your side, without people knowing that the hero is pretty much useless. Meanwhile, these guys can defeat the Demon King, which is also weird because they are not at war with the demons, which is a whole other point that is interesting.
王都は中央区、東区、西区、
Yeah, the south doesn't exist anymore, I guess.
北区の4区域に分かれている。さまざまな商店が並ぶ中央区、金持ちが暮らす東区、王城や大聖堂がそびえる北区。
I feel like that wall is fucking useless, but okay. Because you can attack the castle still, even without the wall. It's good enough.
王城や大聖堂がそびえる北区、そしてそこからあぶれた貧しい人間たちが集まる西区。
冒険者になりたくて来たの。
Now, I am assuming that we are still in the main city with the king and stuff, where the other heroes are going to come to as well. So we are going to meet them at some point.
ライセンスを発行してもらえない？
ああ、冗談はよしなさいよ。あんたたちには娼婦の方がお似合いよ。お店ならいくらでも紹介してあげる。あんたは若いし、売れるわよ。
戦う力はある。いいからライセンス発行して。
うっさいわね。遠回しに諦めろって言って。
How about you do your fucking job? I mean, the first part is not really that problematic. She's like, hey, I know you want to do something else, but for your own good, it is better to go and do that. She probably gets a kickback. Maybe that is why she wants to convince them. But if they are like, we want to be adventurous and potentially die trying, fair enough. She probably has more than enough people coming in. So she should not care about who wants to do what.
ってのがわからないの？黙って男にまた開いてなさいよ。
今晩買ってやろうか？
あ、包帯の方無理だからいいわ。
ひってえ
Now
な。
this reinforces that there was a potential to sell these people. Not for a lot of money, but you could have recouped some of the cost.
じゃあお前いけるのかよ。
無理だな。
まあまあそこまでにしとけよ。
デインさ
ん。いいら、せっかくこの治安がクソ悪い西区のギルドに新人
Don't touch me.
が来てくれたんだ。歓迎しないでどうする？ライセンスを受け取ってからその先を生き残れるかは実力次第。チャレンジに奴隷とか貴族とか身分は関係ない。
デインさんの言う通り。
わかったわ。
いけすかない受付嬢があっさり折れた。
Yeah, she should do her fucking job.
どれどれ。お、これなんか。
So it's a setup.
がいいんじゃないか？
いや、それはちょっと。はい、これ任務完了と同時にライセンスも渡すから。
ありがとう。ありがとうございます。
気にしないでいいよ。僕の名前はデイン・フィニアス。このギルドで A ランク冒険者をやってるものだ。 よろしく。
はい、よろしくお願いします。依頼ランクは最低の F。グールと同じだから楽勝だね。じゃあ行こっか。
はい、ご主
He just put F on there.
人様。
D ランク？それって F ランクの3、いや、下手すりゃ5倍近いステータスのモンスターじゃないですか。
後輩の未来を案じてちょっと壁を高くしてやっただけだよ。
死にましたね、あの子ら。
その時は仕方ない。僕と違って才能がなかったんだ。
This makes fucking no sense. It makes no sense at all. My assumption was, hey, this is a setup where they can, you know, he's going to tell them, they can do whatever they want, some scummy stuff like that, where he can get some profit out of that. Just sending them out to die is like, why? You also saw that the woman, secretary, whatever, receptionist, she was not happy about that. So you are going to make your workers unhappy. Sure, maybe she doesn't have much else to do or work at. She doesn't have many other options to work for. But you still make them hate you a little bit more for no reason. This doesn't net you anything. They're going to die. Normally, in an Adventurers Guild, someone gave you their job. You decided to give the job to some rookies that are going to die. The job is not done. So what is the benefit? I don't see the benefit. It's not even that you could be like, oh, I'm going to do the job later and I'm going to steal the stuff they had on them. It has no benefit. You're just going to kill people for nothing. It would have been far smarter to be like, hey, maybe listen to the receptionist and go to the receptionist. I want a little bit of the cut you, I presume, get. Instead of just sending them to their deaths. Under the assumption that they even get there, then they even get killed. It doesn't really make any sense.
さすがデインさんです。
デインさんに乾杯。
デイン・フィニアス。ギルドと癒着し、さまざまな汚い手を使い、実力がないにもかかわらず A ランクになった勇猛なる卑怯者。
まったく命の無駄遣いだわ。
悪い人ばかりじゃないし、どうにかやっていけそう。
I mean, we can talk about that it's stupid that she believes so easily, sure. But again, I mean, he was looking at her like that. Maybe he's interested in her. She doesn't like him. And if he did this multiple times, he has no chance with her at all. And it's like, why? Why? What is the benefit? There's no benefit. This is a problem I always have. There's no benefit. You don't see them dying. You don't see them fighting. You don't get any money for doing this. You don't get anything else. You get nothing. Why? Why? You could have done so many other things that would also be evil, but you would have a little bit of a benefit. Otherwise, I mean, we are at the ending. Otherwise, I am questioning some of the motivations still, or how stuff is being handled. As example, that the Cyril or whatever girl was there, as he more or less sold her out to a slaver. But somehow she was too stupid to understand or comprehend that. Very questionable. Some of the motivations of evil people is questionable at best. I'm not evil, so maybe there's something I don't understand. But I would assume that most often, if you are evil, being evil is more a morality thing. I can see something as evil. As example, if you go into a village and you kill everyone, that is evil in my view. Now, in your view, it may be to quell the rebellion. And you can't only get rid of the rebels, you need to get rid of everyone, so the next of kin are not going to rise up and fight against you again and rebel. So in most cases, it makes sense that you do something I would find evil. But in this case, it's like, I tried. I tried to understand what is the benefit, but there's no benefit. So those motivations always fall a little bit flat. But the way it was, the structure was done for the first episode, I found interesting. I liked that quite a bit. The idea about the reversal can be interesting. We will see. I hope this is going to be to go through the whole show and is a big part of her. That everything that is positive would be negative for her and everything that is negative would be positive for her. Which means we could get some more curse items as example. So looking forward to that. The hero story, I would probably like if they never appeared again. There's nothing really redeeming going on there. There's nothing really going to happen. Overall, I found a very solid start for this show.